Think about this. Why do people stay in bad relationships? Why do they keep jobs they hate? Or worse, why do they double down on bad investments? It's because their brain is screaming, "You've already committed. Stay consistent." This is one of the most powerful psychological forces in the world. It's used by salespeople, politicians, and even casinos to control behavior. Once you say yes to something small, you feel obligated to stay consistent, even when it no longer makes sense. But here's where it gets interesting. You can flip this mechanism in your favor and use it to create the life you actually want. The 3-step solution. So how do you break free from this trap and use commitment and consistency to build wealth, health, and better relationships? Here's the 3-step plan. And I promise, if you follow these steps, you'll start seeing a change immediately. Step 1. Audit your commitments. Ask yourself, what am I staying committed to that's hurting me? Most people don't realize how much their old commitments control them. They hold on to toxic relationships because they've been together too long. They stay in a dead-end job because they've already put in 5 years. They stick to a failing business because they're too invested to quit now. This is called the sunk cost fallacy, and it ruins lives. But here's the truth. Just because you chose something in the past doesn't mean it's the right choice for your future. If a choice no longer serves you, drop it. I want you to make a list of everything you're committed to. Habits, relationships, routines, financial decisions, and then ask, is this leading me toward the life I want or keeping me stuck in the past? I had to do this myself a few years ago. When the pandemic hit, I had to step away from my bluegrass band. The band wanted to keep getting together and play shows, but I didn't think it was in the best interest of me and my family to put people's health at risk for my personal hobby. Letting go of that commitment was one of the hardest but smartest decisions I've ever made. And you? What's one thing you've been holding on to just because you started it a long time ago? Comment below. I want to hear about it. Step 2. Create powerful micro commitments. Here's something you might not know. Small commitments shape your identity. When you take even a tiny step in a new direction, your brain starts to see you differently. Want to be someone who works out? Don't commit to an hour at the gym. Commit to just 1 push-up a day. Want to be a reader? Don't promise to finish a book a week. Just read 1 page. Why does this work? Because every time you follow through, even on something tiny, you're reinforcing your new identity. And once you see yourself as the kind of person who works out or the kind of person who reads, then momentum takes over. I did this when I wanted to improve my health. Instead of making some huge unrealistic workout plan, I told myself, just do 1 thing daily. 1 push-up, 1 glass of water, 1 healthy meal. Within a few weeks, I wasn't trying to be healthy anymore. I was healthy. And this works in every area of life. Money, relationships, business. Whatever big goal you have, start with something ridiculously easy. Because once you're committed to even the smallest action, your brain will find a way to stay consistent. Step 3. Leverage public accountability. This step is where everything clicks. When you make a commitment in private, it's easy to break it. But when you make a commitment in public, suddenly it feels real. Studies show that when people announce their goals publicly, they're 95% more likely to follow through. That's why top performers surround themselves with accountability partners, coaches, or even mastermind groups. If you want to make sure you stick to something, tell people who will hold you to it. But be careful, who you tell matters. If you tell the wrong people, they'll discourage you, make you doubt yourself, or even pressure you into bad decisions. Ever notice how some friends try to pull you back when you start improving your life? That's because your growth threatens their comfort zone. So when you use public accountability, do it wisely. Find people who actually want to see you win. Join a community, hire a coach, or even just tell 1 friend who truly supports you. When I started my YouTube channel, I was scared to tell people. But when I told my audience I'd post every week, usually 2 times a week, I had no choice but to stay consistent. And guess what? That commitment turned into success. And I want you to do the same. So right now, comment below 1 micro commitment you're making today. It could be 1 push-up, $1 saved, or 1 healthier meal. Declare it publicly and start locking in your new identity. Let's talk real-world application. I've seen this change lives. I did this years ago when I was stuck in bad habits and repeating the same mistakes. I went as far as to write down what I thought were my bad habits, and I told my family about them. One that comes to mind is I would often say the word right at the end of sentences. And as soon as I realized, hey, this is just making me sound unsure and not confident in my speech, I asked my family to step in if they heard me say right at the end of every sentence, like, call me out on it. Say right. They started doing that, and before you knew it, I stopped having that problem altogether. Thanks to my family. So that's just one example. But once you take control of your commitments, everything changes. And the best part is it's easier than you think. So let's recap. Your brain forces you to stay consistent, even when it's harmful. Salespeople, marketers, and even friends use this against you. But you can flip the script with 3 simple steps. Audit your commitments, make small positive commitments, and use public accountability wisely. If this clicked for you, drop a comment below and let me know. What's one thing you've been committed to that you need to change? Also hit that like button, subscribe for more life-changing insights, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next video. And if you want to go even deeper, watch this video next. It's all about how another hidden psychological trigger is secretly shaping your decisions. I'll see you over there.